Nobody expected the Korean underdog to threaten the French elite. 1998 rally stages across Europe. Peugeot 306 Maxes screaming to 11,000 revolutions per minute. Citroën Exara kit cars pulling down the pants of full world rally cars. Seat Ibizas collecting 3 straight championship titles. These machines cost hundreds of thousands to develop. Factory teams, decades of motorsport pedigree. Then a curvaceous coupe shows up from a brand nobody takes seriously. Hyundai, the company that made cheap XLs and ponies, the manufacturer whose entire motorsport heritage consists of Australian regional rallies. March 1998, Rally Portugal. A white and blue Hyundai Coupe kit car crosses the finish line, 4th in class. Kenneth Eriksson behind the wheel, seasoned driver, 6 World Rally Championship wins under his belt. And he just piloted a car from a budget Korean brand into the points. Nobody laughed, because the Coupe was about to do something remarkable. A Porsche 996, try 45,000 plus, 5 times more. The Hyundai gave you curves styled by Pininfarina influence, a 2.0-liter engine, front-wheel drive, and a warranty longer than most relationships. It weighed 1,250 kilograms, made 137 horsepower, reached 60 miles per hour in about 9 seconds. Decent, not spectacular. But here's what mattered. The chassis was strong, really strong, built with an immensely robust structure because Hyundai was paranoid about quality after years of selling rust buckets. That paranoia became an asset. Let us build a rally car. Show the world Hyundai can compete. Not just participate, compete. Hyundai said yes, but they needed expertise. Enter Motorsport Development's British firm, based in Milton Keynes, run by David Whitehead. MSD had prepared cars for the British Rally Championship. They knew how to turn road cars into race-winning machines. Hyundai contracted MSD in late 1997. The mandate? Build a kit car for the FIA 2-liter World Rally Cup, also called Formula 2 or F2. This was the support category running alongside the main World Rally Championship events. Same stages, same weekends, different cars. Lighter bodies. Aggressive aero. The Peugeot 306 Maxi was the benchmark. Gilles Panizzi had won back-to-back French championships in 1996 and 1997. That XU10 engine hit 11,000 RPM and sounded like angels screaming. The Citroën Exara kit car had just pulled off the unthinkable. Summer 1999. Felipe Bugalski won Rally Catalunya outright. Beat every world rally car. Then did it again 3 weeks later at Tour de Corse. The F2 cars were giant killers, on tarmac especially. They were lighter, more agile, and in the right hands, faster. 138 World Rally Championship starts across his career. 6 wins. Group A World Champion in 1986. He had driven for Volkswagen, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Subaru, now Hyundai. At 41 years old, he was the oldest professional driver on the grid. Bell finished 4th in class at Portugal. Eriksson retired. Mechanical issues. From the next round onward, Alistair McRae joined the team, brother of 1995 world champion Colin McRae, winner of the 1995 British Rally Championship. Alistair brought speed and a famous last name. The car weighed in at exactly 955 kilograms, right at the minimum. Front-wheel drive. McPherson struts up front. Independent rear suspension. 5-speed sequential gearbox. Limited slip differential. Aggressive aero kit with a front splitter, side skirts, and a rear wing generating downforce without creating excessive drag. White bodywork with blue and red accents. Hyundai Motorsport lettering down the flanks. But the Coupe had problems. Lots of problems. For much of 1998, it struggled for power compared to the French monsters. The Peugeot 306 Maxi and Renault Maxi Megane were making more horsepower and had 7-speed gearboxes. The Hyundai managed 5 gears. Engine failures plagued the team, fuel pump issues, clutch dramas, regular mechanical retirements. Dirtfish, the rally publication that tracks front-wheel drive legends, later noted the Coupe suffered from mechanical frailty throughout its 2 full F2 seasons. The car looked the part, sounded good, but reliability killed results. Development continued. MSD upgraded the engine specification midway through 1999. Wider track, more power, better balance. The Coupe evolved. Eriksson and McRae stuck with it. Paul Risbridger, former touring car boss, came in as team manager for 99. Infrastructure improved, testing increased. Renault, Hyundai, and Volkswagen. VW didn't even get classified because they failed to homologate their new Golf GTI kit car properly. That left 2. Renault versus Hyundai. Renault had the faster car, the Maxi Megane with its savage 7-speed gearbox. Enrico Bertone won the 1999 European Rally Championship in the Megane. First time a front-wheel drive car had done that in 30 years. Renault also rotated drivers. Belgian champion Chris Prinsen, British champion Tapio Laukkanen, Martin Rowe, Oriol Gomez, a plethora of pilots spreading the workload. Hyundai countered with consistency, Ericsson and McRae. 2 drivers, same cars, every event. The car looked spectacular, sounded angry. Ericsson pushed hard. The footage is iconic. That is how people remember the Hyundai Coupe kit car. Not the retirements, not the engine failures, just pure commitment on Swedish snow. Back in the World Rally Cup, they chased Renault. The final tally? Renault won by 7 points. 7. Hyundai finished second, out of 2 teams. Some rally historians later joked that Renault won by accident because they were never actually competing for the F2 title. They were focused elsewhere. Hyundai was the only manufacturer truly competing for the championship that year, and they lost by 7 points. The margin between proving the budget brand could win and being remembered as the team that almost did. The frustration must have been immense, but those 7 points proved something else. The Hyundai Coupe kit car, built by an outsider brand with a shoestring budget compared to the French giants, had pushed a far more experienced team to the limit. Renault had decades of motorsport DNA, rally wins going back to the 70s. The Megane was developed by Renault Sport. The engineers knew every trick. Hyundai was new. MSD was learning on the fly, and they came within 7 points. Bespoke components. The Hyundai program? Run by a British engineering firm on a contract basis. Limited testing. Budget constraints from day one. When the F2 era ended in '99, the category was phased out. High costs killed it. The French kit cars had become too sophisticated, too expensive, too fast. They were beating full world rally cars on tarmac events. That embarrassed the manufacturers, paying millions for WRC programs. The FIA responded by creating the Super 1600 class for 2001. Smaller engines, tighter regulations, lower costs. The F2 era was done. This was the promise that brought Ericsson to Hyundai in the first place. He had left Subaru, a championship-winning team, on the condition that Hyundai would build a WRC car. The Accent WRC was designed and built in less than 8 months, while MSD was still running 10 rounds of the 2-liter World Rally Cup. Insane timeline. Nick Clipson, MSD's chief engineer, led the design alongside Bob Bell and Mark Way. Peter Stevens handled styling and aerodynamics. Stevens had designed the Subaru Impreza WRC. He knew what worked. Ericsson went on to finish 5th at Rally New Zealand and 4th at Rally Australia. The Accent WRC was competitive, not winning, but competitive. 2000 ended with Hyundai finishing 4th in the manufacturer's standings, ahead of Skoda and Mitsubishi, 4th. In their first full year with a World Rally car, the budget Korean brand had beaten established teams. 2002 brought a driver lineup overhaul. Hyundai hired Juha Kankkunen, 4-time world champion, legend of the sport. Alongside Freddie Loix and Armin Schwartz, the Accent WRC03 Evolution debuted at Tour de Corse 2002. Lighter components, improved suspension geometry, new turbo, better cooling. Kankkunen finished 5th at Rally New Zealand, Loix 6th, 4 points collected. The team also grabbed an 8th place finish at Rally Great Britain. Those results, combined with consistency throughout the season, gave Hyundai 4th place in the Manufacturers' Championship again, 1 point ahead of Skoda, 1 point ahead of Mitsubishi. The gap was tiny, but Hyundai held on. September 2003, Hyundai withdrew from the WRC. The partnership with MSD ended. Legal action followed. MSD alleged breach of contract. Hyundai accused MSD of failing to produce audited accounts. 100 members of staff at MSD were made redundant. David Whitehead, MSD's managing director, publicly commented on the collapse. The Hyundai program was over. The vow? Return in 2006 with an in-house operation based in Germany. That did not happen. Team updated through September 2025. Dirtfish's comprehensive feature on the 10 best front-wheel drive rally cars, published March 8, 2021. The WRC Wings Aerodynamics Archive from May 2020, detailing the Accent, WRC's technical specifications, verified through original team documentation. Now back to the information. It proved Hyundai could build a car that competed, not just participated, competed. The fact that it came within 7 points of winning the 1999 F2 title against Renault, a brand with far more motorsport experience and resources, validated the entire effort. Yes, the Coupe struggled with reliability. Yes, it lacked the development budget of the French rivals. Yes, it never won the championship, but it pushed the establishment. It forced people to take Hyundai seriously. Pirelli 22 540 16P 7000 directional tires, the widest and most aggressive tires ever fitted to a production Hyundai Coupe. Sony CD tuner stereo with RDS. Coupe F2 monogrammed aluminum kick plates, unique leather and aluminum gear stick. F2 badging on the front wings and rear valance. 3 colors available: black, bright silver, or racing blue mica. That blue was unique to the F2. No other Hyundai ever wore it. On the road price, £17,999. July 1998. That was thousands less than comparable sporty coupes from established brands. The advertising campaign was bold: billboards across the UK, press ads, tagline. On average, men think about the F2 every 6 seconds. Provocative, attention-grabbing. It worked. Approximately 1,100 units sold in 1998 and 99. Limited numbers. The first 500 buyers got extras. A large aluminum-bound F2 art book, signed inside by Kenneth Erickson. An aluminum key fob with LED light, packaged in a silver box labeled Lexon Design Concept, all supplied by the dealer upon collection. 1,513, 2 colors only, silver metallic or cobalt blue metallic, design led by Peter Stevens, the McLaren F1 stylist. Working with motorsport developments, standard 2.0 SE coupes were delivered to MSD for conversion. Bigger front bumper and spoiler, modified rear spoiler with end plates. Stevens designed them to create zero lift rather than ultimate downforce. A high lift inlet camshaft from the 1997 1.8-liter Lantra engine. 6-inch by 4-inch free-flow exhaust by Magnex. Magnex supplied Aston Martin. Uprated power to 154 horsepower. Torque to 140 pound-feet. 16-inch diameter by 7.0 J5. Spoke alloys by TSW. Yokohama 205/45 16 tires. Thatcham approved Category 1 alarm and immobilizer system. Sony stereo upgrade. Cream instrument dials with F2 Evolution logos. Thicker lambswool carpets. Stitched leather armrest lid. Chrome finished gear knob. Brake pads co-developed by MSD and AP Racing. Better bite. Improved fade resistance. 19,299 pounds. June 1999. Still cheaper than most rivals. Still carrying the rally pedigree. The F2 Evolution sold its full run. Demand was there. Enthusiasts wanted a piece of the rally story. A Hyundai that meant something beyond cheap transportation. Hyundai announced its return to the WRC for 2014 using the i20 model, World Rally Car specifications. December 19, 2012, Hyundai Motorsport GmbH established in Alzenau, Germany, near Frankfurt. Purpose-built facility, in-house operation, no more outsourcing. Juho Henninen, Brian Bouffier, and Chris Atkinson served as test drivers through 2013. January 2014. Monte Carlo Rally. Hyundai returned. Thierry Neuville led the charge. He has been with the team ever since, 19 years old at debut, now the team leader. The journey from the Coupe kit car in 98 to world champions in 19 took 21 years. 2 decades of development, learning, evolution. The Coupe laid the foundation. Those struggles with reliability taught lessons. The near miss in 99 showed what was possible. The Accent WRC proved Hyundai could compete at the top level. The withdrawal in 2003 forced a reassessment. When they came back in 2014, they came back properly. Factory team, full commitment. Budget to match the rivals. By 2019, Hyundai Motorsport employed around 250 staff from over 30 nations. The facility in Alzenau covered 16,000 square meters. Former solar panel glass manufacturing plant. Converted into a motorsport headquarters. Design, engineering, fabrication, testing, all in-house. This was not MSD in Milton Keynes scrambling with limited resources. This was a factory operation with manufacturer backing. Kenneth Erickson, a 6-time WRC winner with Subaru in his rearview mirror, chose to drive it. Alistair McRae, brother of a world champion, put his reputation on the line with it. Peter Stevens, the man who styled the McLaren F1, lent his expertise to make the road-going F2 Evolution special. Rally Sweden 1999. Kenneth Erickson, full sideways through snow. Iconic footage. Asia Pacific Rally Championship 1999. Hyundai wins the 2-liter class. FIA 2-liter World Rally Cup 1999 final standings. Renault champion. Hyundai second, 7 points behind. 7. Production F2 model 1998. 1,100 units sold. 17,999 pounds. Production F2 Evolution 1999. 1,513 units sold. 19,299 pounds. Peter Stevens design. MSD conversions. World Rally Championship 2000. Hyundai Accent WRC debut. Swedish Rally. Both cars finish. Rally Argentina. McRae 7th. Ericsson 8th. Rally Australia. Ericsson 4th. Manufacturers Championship 2000. Hyundai 4th. Ahead of Skoda and Mitsubishi. Manufacturers Championship 2002. Hyundai 4th again. 1 point ahead of Skoda and Mitsubishi. September 2003. Hyundai withdraws. MSD loses 100 staff. December 19th, 2012. Hyundai Motorsport GmbH established. Alzenau, Germany, 2019. Manufacturers World Championship. First Korean win, 2020. Manufacturers World Championship. Back to back. Those numbers chart a path from outsider to champion. But the Coupe kit car era is where it started. the awkward coupe that nobody expected to compete, the budget rally car that came within 7 points of beating Renault, the Korean underdog that forced the establishment to notice. When Thierry Neuville lifted the manufacturer's trophy in 2019, that moment connected back to March 1998, Rally Portugal. Wayne Bell crossing the line fourth in class, Kenneth Eriksson joining the team, Alistair McRae signing on, MSD building kit cars in Milton Keynes, 7 points short in 99. But the journey had begun. Styled to look more expensive than it was. That was the brand's whole approach. Undercut on price, over-deliver on looks. Hope buyers did not notice the compromises, but that strong chassis was not a compromise. That torquey long-stroke engine had real character. The car could be pushed, and when pushed by drivers like Eriksson and McRae, it revealed potential. Peugeot Sport's budget for the 306 Maxi program dwarfed what Hyundai spent on the Coupe. Citroën had PSA resources. Seat had 3 consecutive F2 titles proving their development capability. Renault had decades of motorsport heritage. The Megane Maxi with its 7-speed gearbox was a technical masterpiece. The Hyundai Coupe, with its 5-speed and regular mechanical failures, was the cheap date trying to hang with the cool kids. But here's what the cool kids feared. The cheap date kept showing up, kept fighting, kept scoring points. Finished second in 99. Did not go away quietly. 5 times less than a Porsche. And that Hyundai carried Kenneth Eriksson's signature in the art book. Came with the LED key fob. Had the motorsport-style wheels and the Pirelli rubber. For 17,999 pounds. That value proposition defined the brand, but it also defined the challenge. Could something that cheap be taken seriously? Could a budget brand compete against manufacturers spending 5 times more on development? Rally after rally in 99. Eriksson and McRae pushing, Renault ahead. The points tally climbing. Hyundai closing the gap, final event, final stages, final calculations. Renault wins, 7 points, Hyundai second. 7 points short of a championship that would have validated everything. The investment, the risk, the outsider status. Instead, they got second place and a reputation as the team that almost made it. But almost making it against Renault in 99, then finishing fourth in the manufacturer's championship, with the Accent WRC in 2000 and 2002, proved the concept. Hyundai could compete. The withdrawal in 2003 hurt. 100 MSD staff redundant, legal battles, broken promises about returning in 2006, 9 years of silence. But when they came back in 2014, they came back strong. The i20 WRC was no budget project. It was a proper factory effort. Thierry Neuville was no journeyman. He was a world-class talent who has now driven for Hyundai for over a decade. The 2019 and 2020 manufacturers' titles were earned against Ford, Toyota, and Citroën. Full factory teams, massive budgets, maximum commitment. Hyundai beat them. MSD gave Hyundai a way into the WRC without massive upfront investment. The Coupe gave them a learning platform. The Accent WRC gave them credibility. The withdrawal in 2003 gave them perspective. The return in 2014 gave them success. This was a budget brand hiring a British firm to build rally cars on a shoestring, signing veteran drivers past their prime, campaigning against French teams with decades of heritage, finishing second by 7 points, losing to mechanical failures, winning the 2-liter class in Asia Pacific, selling 1,100 F2 special editions in the UK, building 1,513 F2 Evolution models with Peter Stevens styling, charging 17,999 pounds when rivals cost 5 times more. The Coupe kit car in 98 cost a fraction of that. But without the Coupe, there is no Accent WRC. Without the Accent, there is no return in 2014. Without 2014, there are no World Championships in 19 and 20. The awkward Coupe from 98 connects to the titles 21 years later. That is the story. That is why it matters. François Delacour finished second outright in a Peugeot 306 Maxi. Only Colin McRae's Subaru Impreza WRC beat him. Delacour was 16 minutes ahead of the next F2 car, 17 minutes ahead of Alistair McRae in the Hyundai Coupe kit car. 17 minutes. Over multiple stages across Corsica, the gap was enormous. The 306 Maxi was in a different league on tarmac, but Alistair finished. The Hyundai completed the rally. That counted. Reliability issues plagued most of 98. Engine failures, fuel pump problems, clutch dramas, retirements. But when the car finished, it scored points. Wayne Bell fourth at Portugal. Eriksson and McRae collecting class wins in APRC. Incremental progress. Each finish taught lessons. MSD learned what broke, strengthened those areas, upgraded components. The Evolution version in 99 showed that learning, more power. Wider track, better balance, improved reliability. Still not perfect, still prone to mechanical issues, but better. Alistair McRae brought a famous name and genuine talent. Brother of Colin, winner of the 95 British Rally Championship. proven in Nissan, Volkswagen, and now Hyundai. The McRae surname carried weight. It brought attention, media coverage, fan interest. Alistair's presence legitimized the Hyundai program. If a McRae was willing to drive it, the car must have something. Paul Risbridger's arrival as team manager in '99 stabilized operations. Risbridger came from touring cars. He understood race engineering, team management, driver relations. He merged Bell's Australian operation with MSD's British base, created a unified effort. Infrastructure improved, testing schedules solidified, communication between drivers and engineers strengthened. The 1999 season reflected that stability, fewer chaotic moments, more consistent pace, better strategic decisions. The championship battle with Renault came down to execution. Renault had speed, Hyundai had consistency. Renault rotated drivers, Hyundai stuck with Ericsson and McRae. Both approaches had merit. Renault's method spread workload and maximized points opportunities across multiple crews. Hyundai's method built cohesion and car knowledge with 2 dedicated drivers. In the end, Renault won by 7 points, but the margin was close enough to validate Hyundai's approach. When a naturally aspirated front-wheel drive Citroën Xara beats your factory WRC car in Catalunya and Corsica, questions get asked, budgets get reviewed, categories get restructured. The FIA created Super 1600 for 2001. Smaller engines, tighter regulations, lower costs. The F2 era died, but the Hyundai Coupe kit car achieved its purpose. It brought Hyundai into international rallying, gave them WRC infrastructure, provided a development platform, secured manufacturer credibility, led directly to the Accent WRC program. The Frankfurt Motor Show debut in September '99 generated buzz. A Korean manufacturer unveiling a proper world rally car. 2-liter turbocharged engine, 300 horsepower, 520 newton meters of torque, 6-speed sequential gearbox, 4-wheel drive, minimum weight 1,230 kilograms. This was no longer a kit car scrapping for points. This was a full WRC competitor. The Swedish rally debut in February 2000 had one goal: finish. Both cars finished. McRae and Ericsson brought them home, reliable completion. That was victory enough for a debut. Rally Argentina 2000 delivered more. McRae 7th, Ericsson 8th, both in the points. The WRC awards points to the top 10. 7th and 8th meant real championship contribution. Ericsson's 5th at Rally New Zealand and 4th at Rally Australia showed genuine pace, not just participation, competitive results. 4th at Australia meant Ericsson beat factory cars from established teams. Subaru, Ford, Mitsubishi, Peugeot were all there. Ericsson, in a debut season, Accent WRC finished ahead of some of them. That statement result silenced doubters. Hyundai finished 4th with 28 points, ahead of Skoda with 26 points and Mitsubishi with 26 points. 2 points separated 4th from 6th. 2 points. That margin shows how competitive the midfield was. 1 mechanical failure, 1 crash, 1 penalty. The standings shuffle. Hyundai held 4th in their first full WRC season with a brand new car. The budget Korean brand finished ahead of Skoda, a team with decades of rally heritage, and Mitsubishi, a team with WRC wins and championships in their history. That ranking validated everything. McRae's 4th at Rally Great Britain 2001 marked the best result of that season. Ericsson 6th in the same event. Both cars in the points at a difficult rally. Great Britain's stages are fast and slippery, technical, demanding. A double points finish there proved the Accent WRC was maturing. One of the greatest names in rallying history. Kankkunen in a Hyundai was a statement. It said the brand was serious. It validated the program. Freddie Loix and Armin Schwartz rounded out the lineup. Both experienced, both capable. Kankkunen's 5th at Rally New Zealand 2002 showed the champion could still compete. At 52 years old, in a Hyundai, 5th overall, Loix 6th, 4 points from one event. Rally Great Britain brought an 8th place finish, more points, the final tally. Hyundai 4th in the manufacturer's championship again, this time with 29 points. 1 point ahead of Skoda with 28, 1 point ahead of Mitsubishi with 28. 1 point. The difference between 4th and 6th? Hyundai held the position by the slimmest margin, but they held it. Castrol withdrew sponsorship. Budget dried up, testing decreased, development stalled. The Accent WRC-03 Evolution arrived at Tour de Course with improvements but insufficient support. Lighter components, better cooling, revised suspension, not enough. Results suffered. September 2003, Hyundai pulled the plug. The partnership with MSD ended in recriminations. Legal battles followed. MSD claimed breach of contract. Hyundai countered with accusations about missing audited accounts. David Whitehead, MSD's managing director, watched 100 staff lose their jobs. The Hyundai program imploded. The vow to return in 2006 with an in-house German operation never materialized. Silence fell. Hyundai left rallying. using the I-20. In-house operation, Alzenau, Germany, December 19th, 2012. Hyundai Motorsport GmbH officially established. Purpose-built facility, no more MSD, no more outsourcing. Full manufacturer commitment. Thierry Neuville recruited as lead driver. Belgian, fast, young. Danny Sordo signed as second driver. Spanish, experienced, consistent. Test drivers hired. Juho Heinonen, Brian Bouffier, Chris Atkinson. Development began. The I-20 WRC took shape. All new car, no carryover from the Accent era, fresh start. Not a false dawn, genuine speed. The I-20 WRC evolved. I-20 next generation in 2016. I-20 Coupe WRC in 2017. Each iteration faster, more refined. 2017 through 2018. Neuville challenged for the driver's title both years. Finished second each time. Close, but not quite. Andreas Mikkelsen. Craig Breen. 5 drivers sharing the workload. The I-20 Coupe WRC refined to perfection. Multiple wins, consistent podiums. The manufacturer's championship came down to the final events. Toyota, Hyundai, Citroën, 3 teams fighting. Hyundai prevailed. First manufacturer's world championship, first Korean team to win WRC. 21 years after the Coupe Kit car debut at Rally Portugal, 98. The journey from outsider to champion complete. Twice. The return taught them success requires full investment. The titles proved it all worthwhile. Kenneth Eriksson attacked Rally Sweden 99 sideways through snow. Alistair McRae scored class wins. Paul Risbridger managed the team through tight budgets. Motorsport Developments built the cars in Milton Keynes with limited resources. Peter Stevens styled the F2 Evolution. 1,100 F2 models sold in the UK at 17,999 pounds. 1,513 F2 Evolution models sold at 19,299 pounds. Both undercut rivals by massive margins. Both carried rally pedigree. Both connected consumers to the motorsport story. It laid groundwork for Accent WRC success. It created infrastructure for future championships. The 17,999 pound price tag versus BMW 3 Series Coupes at 20,000 plus and Porsche 996s at 45,000 plus made the point. Hyundai undercut everyone, always. That was the brand DNA, cheaper, good enough, sometimes better than expected. The Coupe Kit car was better than expected. Not perfect, not championship winning, but better than expected. The cheap car challenging expensive rivals, the outsider refusing to quit. Fourth in manufacturers' standings with the Accent WRC in 2000 and 2002. World champions in 2019 and 2020. The numbers chart progression. The awkward Coupe became the established champion. The budget outsider became the factory winner. The team that almost made it became the team that won it all. 955 kilograms, 265 horsepower, front-wheel drive, budget constraints, mechanical frailty, Kenneth Eriksson, Alistair McRae, Motorsport Developments, David Whitehead, 7 points short. But the foundation laid, the journey begun. The awkward Coupe that crushed rivals, costing 5 times more by refusing to accept it, did not belong. That is the story, that is the legacy.